Hi, this is Sirisha, and today's demo is on Selenium, which includes basic 5 concepts. First concept is including about the installation of Selenium with the Eclipse tool. Second is the Java concepts. Third one is about the IDE tool, and next one is the WebDriver, and the last one is Test NG. So, first of all, we will be starting about the basic installation of Java, which includes installation of two basic jar files, which is JRE and JDK. So these are the two basic jar files which we need to install from the official website of Java. First one is JRE and second one is JDK. These are the two jars that we install just to start off with the Eclipse tool. Then the third thing is we download the Eclipse Mars. So installing Eclipse, it would take around two types because Eclipse will support JavaScript execution. So Eclipse can be downloaded via the Google. So go to Google and say download Eclipse. In the search, say it as download Eclipse. So once we say download Eclipse, the Eclipse official website, which is eclipse.org/downloads would open. So we have many versions of Eclipse that can be downloaded. That's 64-bit, Eclipse, Chi, Eclipse, Orion. We also have Eclipse other versions also. So in order to start off with Java, that's the Selenium, the Eclipse should be this way. Eclipse for Java EE developers, that is Eclipse editor developers. So when you download Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers, this is the official website. These are the basic releases of Eclipse. So we can either take any one of these packages which are shown up under the release section. So let's take the Mars packages. So in this Mars packages, we have IDE for multiple kind of languages because Eclipse supports Java, C, PHP, etc. So here we have an options where you can select the particular version of the Java, which includes Windows, Mac and Linux. So now as we are going Windows machine, we say Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers. So once we are done with those downloads, exactly it looks this way. Eclipse JEE Mars. So right click on it and extract to Eclipse JEE Mars so that automatically the Eclipse JEE Mars folder gets created, and in this Eclipse folder you'll have the Eclipse software. So I have already made a shortcut of the Eclipse software here. So this is the Eclipse shortcut which you are able to be on the taskbar. So come just open it. So automatically the Eclipse gets opened here. So double click on this Eclipse icon, which will open the Eclipse folder. So the first part is installation about the software. So second thing is to start off with a particular project, file, new project. First, we'll see how do we create the JavaScript, a simple JavaScript, and then we'll understand how do we include the Selenium jars into this Eclipse tool. So to start off with the WebDriver. So new project, say it as Java project, say next, and the project name, say it as project, and we see the execution environment JRE, which is already over here. Say next, finish. So once we create a project, you will have an automatic source library which gets created in the JRE system library, which includes all the jars respective to JRE and JDK. So on the source, right click, go to new package. So on this package, name this as PACKAGE package, or you can either say, because that package name is not a right convention, so we can say PCKG and finish. So once we are done with our package, right click on the package, new class. So J1 let me take, and the public static void is a main method of the particular class. finish. So this is J1. Now, whenever I wanted to build a script, first let's take a very basic script. A comma B comma C are the integers which we declare. B value equal to 32. C equals to the operation which I have to perform, A plus B. Now I wanted to print the data to my console window. So whatever I give it in the double quotes get exactly printed in the console window. Total is. Here I want to get a value. So concatenate the value which is holding A plus B, that is C, and give a semicolon. So this script, whenever we execute, run it as a Java application. Say OK. And total is 44. So the hierarchy goes this way. I repeat, project, then SRC, then the package, then the class. So how many multiple packages you wanted to create, you can directly right click on the package and go to new and create a class. Now, all the JavaScripts can be executed this way. So as I previously told, we have Java and Java EE. If you see at the right extreme side, we have Java and Java EE. When you download the very basic version of Eclipse, which would only support Java. So as of now, we have to already also install Java EE, which is Java Eclipse Editor. So that's the reason we have went to Google and downloaded Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers, because it would also support the Selenium. So this is the perspective if you see, and this should contain Java EE by default. So if we download the Eclipse IDE for Java EE developers, it will show this where you can click on this and say OK. So that gets shown up on the extreme right side. Sometimes this Java EE doesn't show up on the right side. So you have to go to this open perspective, select that and say OK. Next, we'll now see how do we download the Selenium jars. So the first part is, now we are done with installation and Java basic script. Now I'll show you IDE, WebDriver and test engine. So before we go to the WebDriver, there is a tool called IDE which would support. This is an IDE tool. So when I open the IDE tool, so this is the IDE tool. This is the IDE tool. So whatever I give it in the IDE tool gets automatically recorded as a kind of a script here. So I would be selecting one of the application from here. Let's say apple.com, and this application has to be mentioned here. So let us assume an example that we are working on apple.com page, which we have to automate. So using IDE tool, whatever operations I perform through my mouse gets recorded in the form of script here. So let us click on some of the links support. Let me type something in the text field. Let me click on a link. Let's go back to IDE. So stop recording. Now see that there are some of these commands and target data which is being shown. Now this is useful for us because as of now, the only disadvantage of IDE is it only supports on Firefox tool. But that does not make things happen. So what we need to do is not only giving an option to. So whenever we record any script on test using the IDE tool, using an application, the commands would show up like this along with the target and the value. So now there is an option to convert this to a WebDriver scripts. I'll show you that. So before going to that, as coming to IDE tool, it's not now in the market. The reason is The Firefox versions are getting updated each and every day, but the version of the Firefox which is got updated now is 55 version, which does not support the IDE tool. So we are not going to use IDE tool anymore. But why are we learning in our courses? This IDE tool will help us in order to get the information out of the uh, script, like export test case as a Java testing WebDriver script. So when I select this and try to save it on the desktop, it would show you the script in this format. This is the format it does show. It starts from the base URL, that's driver, invoking the driver base URL, and the script starts like this: managing, clearing up the fields, text fields, drop down fields, etc. So this will automatically help us to learn how the WebDriver script can be generated. Now, the next part here we'll be going through is the WebDriver and test engine. So WebDriver is nothing but, first let's log into the official website of Selenium. So that is seleniumhq.org. In this, go to download section wherein you get the Selenium jar. Go to the previous release on the left side to download 2.5.2 jar. So once we are done with the 2.5.2 jar download in this fashion, here you have to select Selenium Server Standalone jar. So under the downloads, you have this Selenium Server Standalone jar. So this jar has to be configured to my Eclipse tool. So right click on your SRC, build path, say configure build path, go to your libraries, add external jar, go to your downloads, and here you will be seeing the server standalone which we open. So now this jar will help us in order to build all our WebDriver scripts, which will be stored under the referenced libraries. So now a normal class can be created for a WebDriver class also. New class W1, and the main method is being selected and finished. Now for this, under the project, I have already created a WebDriver class I wanted to show you. This is the WebDriver class, which you will be able to run it across. So driver equal to new Chrome will open the Chrome driver. Driver.get will open this. So if you see this script which I have already saved, here you see driver equal to new Firefox base URL and manage.timeouts. So basically, to start off with scripting, you can convert your script to an Java TestNG WebDriver script and then start doing the scripting part in WebDriver. So once that is done, we'll do a framework called as TestNG. So right click on your project, go to TestNG, and you can create a class. So TestNG is a kind of a framework which helps us in order to perform the reporting options, because as of now in WebDriver we are just doing the validation, but coming up to the verification part, I'm not doing anything as putting some test cases in this classes and trying to make sure about the reporting structures and everything. So I'm not creating any kind of reports or anything. So in order to generate an emailable reports, we have an option wherein you can use TestNG as your framework in order to generate reports. So just one more review is, we are doing first is installation, second Java, third IDE, WebDriver, and TestNG. So these are the 5 concepts that we will be covering, and the whole course will go for 25 hours to 30 hours. And after the training is done, we'll be sharing some sample resumes across to you, which will help you in order to build your resume as well as put that in the market. Thanks for watching the demo. Thank you.